My name is Carly Fleischmann, and I'm going to use the power of my voice to become the world's first autistic and nonverbal television talk show host.
Okay, you guys, welcome back to my channel Behind the Screen. So we're going to be doing something a little bit different on my channel. Someone in my own life, my mom, who apparently, according to one of my crazy comments, she should be very disappointed of me for making these kind of videos, but she's not. She actually suggested this video, so I love you, Mom. Today, we're going to be talking about Carly Fleischmann. She is a 30-year-old woman from Canada. She is nonverbal and she has autism. So you guys might remember her from years ago. She had the mission to become the first nonverbal talk show host, and she did just that. She was interviewing Channing Tatum, James Vanderbeek from Dawson's Creek, which I love that show. But anyway, she created a YouTube channel that has over 150,000 subscribers on it. Basically, she captured the hearts of millions and millions of people, including myself. But then as quickly as she rose to fame, it seemed like all of a sudden things went dark. After posting a very, very concerning trigger warning, talking about some, darker stuff in a little bit here. After posting this very cryptic Facebook message, Carly disappeared from the public eye. For nearly 7 years, no one's heard from her. There's been no updates, no new photos, nothing to tell us that she's okay. And let me set the record straight. This is not a true crime video, nothing like that. I actually do believe that she is alive and doing fine. So basically, I don't believe she's a missing person. And I have reason to believe that. Very, very, very good reason to believe that. So this is not like a missing person, like, where is she at? Is she maybe in a different country now? It's nothing like that. This is actually a story about what seems to be somebody who was silenced and gaslit by her own family and those around her who she loved and trusted and who cared for her. As I was digging into this, the stuff I was finding is insane. It's some actually like jaw-dropping stuff. Even if you have no idea who I'm talking about, I would encourage you to keep watching this video because it's a really interesting one. So you guys buckle in because we're going to be diving into this really just strange, maddening, almost mystery that has flown under the radar for far, far too long. And it's time that more people start talking about it and demanding answers. So Carly was diagnosed with autism, very severe autism, at the age of 2, as well as an oral motor condition that made it so she was unable to speak. And her parents were told that she was never going to be able to intellectually develop beyond the age of a young child. But her family worked with her. They didn't give up. She was getting tons of therapy. And according to her father, one day whenever she was around 10, whenever she was at therapy, she reached over to a computer and typed out a message saying that her teeth hurt, which was absolutely shocking because, like I said, her family and everyone in her life was told she's not going to be able to speak. She's not going to be able to intellectually comprehend or put out messages. It just wasn't going to happen. So for her to just all of a sudden be typing up a message on a computer, I truly can't imagine as a parent in that situation what you'd be feeling in that moment. Her parents were told at one point, likely Carly was going to have to be institutionalized for life because her autism was that severe. So this was groundbreaking to say the least. But from there, her speech therapist worked with her, with the right tools so that she was able to communicate effectively without speaking. And it, kind of came out that Carly knew exactly what she was wanting to say and had all of the thoughts going on in her head for her whole entire life, but just didn't have the right tools to articulate it. So after, years of this therapy, Carly was able to do just that. It wasn't, just clicking a button for a drink or for food or whatever. It was actual sentences. It was real thoughts like any other kid, teenager at the time had.
I am autistic, but that's not who I am. Take time to know me before you judge me. I am cute, funny, and like to have fun.
And she had quite the sense of humor. Her personality was really coming out fully, and her parents were just awestruck. And through all of that, Carly expressed that her dream, her mission, was to become the first nonverbal talk show host, which would, I'm sure, be such a just crazy dream to have at the time because no one ever even heard of such a thing. But eventually she did reach that dream, and it was really amazing for her. And it was also amazing to see someone who was autistic, someone who was nonverbal, someone with a disability in that type of space where they were able to command an audience, where she was asking journalistic questions. It was really, really neat. And, she had her YouTube channel, like I said, where she was interviewing people.
I would like to introduce you to my first guest ever. He has been a stripper, a police officer, a secret agent, a reporter, a boyfriend to many, and soon he will dump his wife to be with me. Welcome, Channing Tatum. How about that, Channing? Would you date a 21-year-old person with autism?
Yes, if I got permission from my wife.
All right, I've got my lawyers working on your divorce papers as we speak.
She would go on shows like Ellen, Stephen Colbert.
But I can't help but look at you and think there's no way in HE double hockey sticks that you would ever beat Blake Shelton in a Sexiest Man Alive contest.
Oh, really?
Do you think you could?
There was a whole entire HBO documentary about her. People were intrigued with Carly. They loved her, including myself. I remember my mom years and years, like 2016, 2015, I don't know, around that time. She'd send me videos and be like, please watch this. This Channing Tatum one is so good. You're going to love it. And I did. I watched it. I absolutely loved it. That was a decade ago. Carly was super funny. She made all of her guests on her show laugh out loud because of the things that she was, saying through her computer, because it was almost like she had no filter. So it really was funny she'd say things that you just did not expect. Not only, was she active with all of that stuff, she was also active on her social media, writing different Twitter posts, Facebook posts. She was very just active, which is important to note because in January 2019, Carly posted this very, very concerning Facebook post. And I'm going to read it to you, and it's a bit long, so feel free to pause it and read it yourself, or I'm going to just read it to you guys. So it says, many of you have noticed that I have not been on social media for the past few months. I told my father about an incident that affected my life regarding his boyfriend. After I told my father what his boyfriend did to me, life drastically changed. My staff started whispering and talking about me as if I was lying or not telling the truth. My father kept on sweeping my statements under the rug. I proceeded to shut down when I should have stood up. The truth is that on a couple of occasions, my father's boyfriend laid on top of me and proceeded to press his genitals against my behind, rubbing it in an inappropriate motion that made me feel uncomfortable. I realized I should not be treated as the villain. I was a victim. His actions should never have happened. I was stunned and shocked and did not react. This is not my fault. He should have never done that to me in the first place. This is not the first time I've been assaulted. It will probably not be the last. The thing that hurt me the most was my father's reactions not to believe his own daughter. Instead, he took the opportunity to make me feel alone and made me question myself. My birthday mission is to make sure that I stand up for myself and not be afraid of doing the right thing. #MeToo, never again, domestic assault, standing up for myself, I'm the victim. And then in the photo, that was a picture of Carly and the boyfriend, her dad's boyfriend. So after people read that, they were really, really concerned, and they started calling the Toronto police to do a welfare check. And interestingly enough, a spokesperson for the Toronto police said that a complaint was made in October of 2018. Which, like I said, Carly made that post in January 2019. And the spokesperson said that an investigation had already begun. And like I said, I don't know for a fact that Carly was the one that made the complaint, but I do know, according to the spokesperson, that Carly herself in October said that she did not want to press any charges. So maybe around that time she was feeling like the villain, and so she said no. And then after ruminating on it for a couple of months, she realized, wait a second, I'm not the villain. This is my story, and I'm going to say what happened to me. I'm the victim. I don't know. Carly was getting posts on the Facebook stuff, not only from concerned people and followers of hers, but from her own family. I'm going to read a post from her father, Arthur, who commented. He said, "Carly, I'm sure he was not intending to make you uncomfortable. He thought he was hugging you, and I'm sure he would apologize if given the chance. Let's discuss." Which, in the beginning of the video, I said there's some gaslighting going on by her own family, and this is it. What kind of dad responds like that? First off, publicly, why not go talk to her in person? But to go and try to discredit how she's feeling publicly like that is total gaslighting. And you have to remember, this is the same father that had been advocating for Carly since she was a child. He pushed for therapy so that she could use her own voice. He co-wrote a book with her about her journey. But Carly wasn't replying to any of the messages. But interestingly enough, the next day she made another concerning post. And she said, "I took down my old post because people were threatening my family's life. They put my address online that made me unsafe. I have started working on making my life a safer place. My parents have heard my voice. They will listen to words to keep me safe. Thank you for believing my words. I am safe." So nobody knew what to believe at that point because she just the day before posted that, she was done being silent. She was going to start standing up for herself. That was her birthday wish. And then the very next day, she's being like, all right, stepping back from what she said almost. But things continue to get just more bizarre. There was a message again a few days later put up on her Facebook that read, actually, the message was deleted, so I could only find a part of what it said. But it said, "This is an administrator of Carly's account, not Carly. This account was hacked. The last verifiable post by Carly was on May 30th, 2018. We have locked down the account. Carly is safe and well, but was taking and then it cuts off, but I'm assuming taking a break." So at that point, it almost seemed like a big hoax or something. And the comments coming in from her own family members did not help the situation. It just made things more confusing. First, you have Arthur, her father, gaslighting her, and then her brother Matthew posted and said, "Hi everyone, this is Carly's brother. I'm sure many of you have seen a post about Carly's account being hacked and are skeptical. I can assure you the hack is real. A former disgruntled employee gained access to her account after ensuring us he no longer had access via his cell phone. IT has verified he was online at the time of the original post. As such, we have taken measures to ensure Carly's electronic communications are safe from hacks for her protection." So they didn't know for almost a year that their daughter's Facebook account was being managed by somebody else and someone else is putting content out in her name. That seems unbelievable. Truly, truly unbelievable. And either way, that was the last time that we've heard from Carly. So even if she was taking a break, it's been 6 years. And the general consensus was she was not hacked. My whole thing, like I said, she worked so hard to get into a very, it's a very difficult entry, I'm sure, with her situation to get her own platform the way that she did to become the first nonverbal talk show host. And I can totally understand taking a break, but not 6 years. Not, the last time we heard from Carly, if it wasn't a hack, was that really cryptic message. And nothing since. I have read that some people, maybe it was one person, I don't know, reached out to Carly's sister via Facebook. I did check on her Facebook. She has not had a public post since around 2017. But someone said that they did reach out and they asked for an update on Carly, and her sister said Carly's, quote, "lack of communication on social media is not cause for concern," and that she hoped the update would clarify any confusion. So the person then proceeded to ask if Carly was ever going to come back into the spotlight, and her sister didn't answer but said, "I hope you can find satisfaction in knowing that Carly is doing well, as that is really the most important thing." Well, first off, we can't believe you. That's just the truth. We can't believe it because we're getting too many different, stories coming in. Like, she was hacked. Some people don't think she was. Hoax, this and that. Not to mention her family put Carly out the way that they did. They encouraged her to have the talk show and do all the things. They had people falling in love with her. That's why the dad made the book for more and more people to fall in love with her. So to go and all of a sudden have her yanked away, not even a photo for an update to make sure she's okay, it does seem concerning. Like, what are they hiding? And someone did say, when I was reading, through different Reddit stuff and whatnot, at one point, Carly's sister did have a couple photos of Carly privated where she was getting her nails done or something. But I can't verify that because if it was private, obviously we're not going to be seeing it. How come we're not seeing anything? And not even like at this point, they'd have the Facebook back. Why not just post, Carly's doing well. Here she is at the zoo or something. Like, nothing. So I want to talk about a really just interesting theory that I read about all of this. Some of it, I'll be honest, went right over my head. So I'm just going to break it down for you as easy to comprehend as possible. There is this very, detailed, well-researched type of scholarly article that came out from I believe it was a Harvard professor back in 2021. The author did a massive article on why he believes that Carly was a part of a communication fraud at the hands of her two speech therapists. And kind of interestingly enough, that same author also had done prior 2 different articles on 2 other, individuals who were, I believe, nonverbal and autistic, kind of talking about this whole speech fraud thing, I believe. And they were people who were more in the public eye, and once he did these articles, they also vanished from the public eye, just like Carly. But basically, this author believes that Carly's not actually the one, you know, expressing her thoughts, typing out the stuff. She believes her speech therapists are behind the whole entire thing. In the article, the author, has lots of different timestamps from different interviews and just clips that Carly has been in where she's just clicking different buttons or one button at a time, but this whole entire response comes out that's really well articulated.
People look at me and assume I am dumb because I can't talk.
So I'm not sure exactly if the author thinks that, because the speech therapist, are kind of, I believe, were almost with her a lot with these interview stuff. They were, behind the scenes whenever she was going and doing all this stuff. So I'm wondering if he thought that basically they were typing things out in another room or whatever. I'm not sure. But either way, he believes that Carly's not actually the one that was behind all of the content that was coming out. That truly she does have severe autism, that she never was able to, that basically the original stuff that the doctor was saying about Carly's likely prognosis was true. This author also believes that her speech therapist were the ones behind, her social media accounts, which, it actually might make sense. She did have, first off, an admin, but also all of this would kind of make sense, if they really were behind everything and they were tagging along with all of her interviews behind the scenes, typing out stuff or speaking into something and, an automated voice was coming out, because in 2017, May of 2017, one of her speech therapists, Barbara, passed away right around the time that Carly was not doing YouTube videos anymore and not really in the spotlight as much. This guy who wrote the article talks about how he thinks that because of his study on Carly that he made public, he believes that Carly's other therapist, Howard, who is still living, stopped getting invitations for Carly to make, public appearances. Because once the media kind of realized, oh wait, this might not be real, this might be a whole big hoax, talking about hoax. It might be a hoax. And so basically she wasn't getting all the same opportunities that she once did. And so basically Howard, the speech therapist that was still living, made up all these allegations against her, father's boyfriend in order to kind of deflect the spotlight from the whole fraud situation, to kind of save his own reputation. The whole thing is, like I said, it goes over my head. It's confusing. It's very well researched. We're talking about like a Harvard professor here, guys. I'm going to link the article below. It's an interesting read. If you're wanting to find out more, I'm going to link the article below. And my whole thing was, if it's true, if none of it was real, what was the purpose? I mean, was it money? Because if they were tagging along, with Carly for all of these things, the HBO, the Ellen, like having Carly do her YouTube channel, sure, they were getting a cut of the money. So maybe money, I don't know. So truly, I don't know what to believe at this point. I mean, a lot of the stuff that article was saying, it did kind of make sense. And then there's the other part of me that thinks, no, but at that point, if I believe that, then I'm not giving credit where credit's due. Truly, if Carly really was the one that worked so hard and got through her speech therapy and built the platform that she did, and then of course, putting out those allegations, and we're just going to have this article come out to kind of discredit that whole entire thing. It's sad for her, because if that really was going on and now this article's out there and nobody is going to believe her now, even though she's the victim, I don't know, the whole thing, it does seem like the family, the dad, and I believe the mom is still alive, but she is obviously not with the dad. They divorced at some point. But anyway, what are they hiding? Like, was there something had to have been going on where they don't want Carly out in the spotlight anymore, or she wasn't getting invitations anymore because people were believing this article? I don't know, because I don't know what to believe. All I want to know is that she's okay. And I just think if truly her dream was to be in the spotlight and be a journalist and all these different things, and she had that platform, her YouTube channel is still up, it still has all those subscribers, why was that yanked away from her? And as I said, circling back to the beginning of the video, do I think she's safe? Absolutely. Do I think she's being well taken care of? Yeah. She can be all of those things, but her main way, if this article is false, of course, her main way of communicating is through, these devices, the computers, the iPads, all the different things. And she 100% relies on her caretakers to have access to that, to take care of her day to day, all the different things. So if people in her life didn't want her to be putting her message out there, it'd be very easy to keep the technology away from her. I don't know. The whole story is just insane, and I just want to know the truth. I think that, again, like I said, they had us fall in love with Carly, so we deserve to know what happened to her. And all the fallout, of her kind of disappearing offline happened right before 2020. And so then, of course, with 2020 happening, I feel like we were very, focused on that. Once things calmed down, people, forgot about a lot of people, not everyone, but a lot of people just forgot, that she even had a channel. I forgot till my mom recently brought her up, and I was like, oh my goodness, I completely forgot about her. I do think that because she was so beloved, that she was a public figure. I mean, she was truly paving the way for people with autism, people with disabilities to go out there and have really successful careers, have their own platform, and then just all of a sudden go dark. Why are more people not talking about this? Because, okay, maybe the article's true. Maybe that wasn't Carly, putting out her opinions into the world. Maybe she is mentally at a more juvenile age due to her prognosis. But let's say that's not true. How heartbreaking is it to think that she has all this going on in her head, all these things that she wants to say and do and stand up for herself and all these different things, and someone is preventing her from doing that? If I can do anything with my channel, as small as it is, if I can have a platform where I am giving a voice to people who are, for her, literally voiceless verbally, people though who are voiceless in the sense of, I talk a lot about kids on the family channel. They don't really have their own say in a voice. That's why I like doing these kind of videos. I want my videos to be impactful and to make a difference, which is a big reason why I wanted to cover something like this. It's not my usual, but it's really important to me. My question to her parents would be, what are you hiding at this point? There's zero reason why you can't put a message out about how she's doing right now. What are you hiding? But let me know what you guys think. Do you guys have any insight that I didn't talk about? What's your theories? Do you believe the Harvard article? Do you think she really was behind everything? What do you think the parents' purpose would be of just completely yanking her out of the spotlight whenever she had her own channel, had the HBO thing, there's books out about her? What would their purpose be? I don't know. Let me know your guys' theory below. Again, thank you so much for watching, you guys, and I will see you guys in my next video.